get started. At this time, can I ask Jim for the invocation and the flag salute?
All right, need to stand. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for all the people here. Heavenly Father, let us reason together and decide on this. And Heavenly Father, just give everybody in here excellent Thanksgiving weekend. Give them health and peace, prosperity, and we thank you for answering our prayer in Jesus' name.
Amen.
So we start. I pledge
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that, Jim.
Thank you.
All right, can we get a roll call?
Absolutely. Trustee Patel is absent. Trustee Reed?
Present.
Trustee Scherer?
Here.
Trustee Thorpe?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Anthony is absent. Chairman Hunt?
I'm here.
And I am here as well.
Okay.
It may not work.
The light is on.
The light's on. You may need to get closer to the mic.
Really?
Does it? Then I just have to be louder.
Okay. All right, let's go into order of business number 1, approval of minutes from our October 29th, 2024 regular minutes. Everybody get a chance to review those? Any questions?
Motion to accept the minutes.
We have one motion to accept. Can we get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Take a vote.
Trustee Reed?
Yes.
Trustee Scherer?
Yes.
Trustee Thorpe?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Anthony is absent. Chairman Hunt?
Yes.
And I will vote yes as well.
Okay, let's move into the review of the financial reports.
Okay, so financial reports for this month. Last month, we had a total income of $38,687.46, which is roughly $2,100 below where we were last year at the same time. We have $212.06. I desperately need to wear my glasses in our current bank account. And for this year, we have net income of $220,743.25 with net expenses of $371,289.94, making us a negative $150,546.69 for this year due to all of the grants and items that we have paid for during our fiscal year, which did start July 1.
Fall concert series being the biggest of those.
And so that means that we have another $150,000 going out more than we bought in.
Yes.
Kara, some of that will be coming back in, though.
Oh, speaking of
through
that, since you just said that too, and I just remembered, did Main Street receive their grant?
Yes.
Got approval today.
Okay, so when will we be expecting that money to be back to us?
I don't know if I saw one.
Didn't have an allocation date on the email.
Okay.
I didn't see one anyway.
So it could be 2-3 months down the line, right?
Should be tomorrow. We don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
22,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the biggest part of it is that they did get it awarded, and
Sure.
we'll get that on back. So good. Any questions on the financial, guys?
I'm glad you said that.
No, it's still
Yeah.
not where it was. It's pretty close to what it was in COVID as far as the 5-cent sales tax that's on the hotels.
Yeah, that was a couple of $1,000s less.
Sure.
Okay. Anything else on financials?
That's all I've got.
Okay. We'll move on. Review of the grant write-ups for SLSU Rodeo.
Page 7 starts the grant wrap-up for the Southeastern Rodeo. Christy wanted to be here, but it looks like she couldn't make it. She has submitted everything she needs to, and if you have any questions, I'll reach out to her to answer them.
I think we've talked about this one. It looks, during the rodeo, you guys, I know the hotels.
On the
were
rodeos,
busier.
it's a tourism, it's a heads and beds. Whether it's a Southeastern Rodeo or the Durant Rodeo, they fill the hotels up. Sure do. It's excellent.
Okay. Any questions on this one?
Next item.
What's that?
Your next item. We have Brandy.
Next item, discuss, consider, approve the Lake Texoma Boat Show and Outdoor Expo.
So starting on page 13 is the exhibitor packet for the Lake Texoma Boat Show. And if you have any other questions, Brandy's here and she can probably answer those.
So this is a request for, you wanna come up, Brandy?
Was that question for me?
Yeah, tell
far
us
as
about
the-
this boat show.
When I say we, myself, the LTA, and then a lot of our members and partners, we always travel to boat shows and outdoor shows and things like that throughout the winter across Dallas, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, just really all over. And so we decided that our area is large enough, we have enough, partners, members, if you will, that sell boats and all the, other things to play at the lake with, that we should try to have our own. So that's what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to bring them to us rather than all of us go to them. So that is April 11th through 13th. They'll move in on Thursday, the show will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, be all day long, all 3 of those days. We are having it at the Choctaw Event Center, and we'll be charging $10 a person to get in. And then we'll have it kind of set up on the inside similar to what they do when they have like MagFest and some of that, although we'll have areas that will have boats inside and some other things, whether that's side-by-sides, stuff like that, golf carts, whatever it may be, and other vendors that kind of relate to lake and outdoors. And then we'll have the outside area, if you're familiar with that, where it's fenced off, we're gonna have them set up out there as well. RVs, campers, whoever wants to come, we're gonna let them come. We do have a 10-room block with Choctaw, as part of our contract with them. We've already signed that contract. But outside of that, we can list all of the area hotels, as options for people that will be coming into the area to stay. We will market this, we have booth space 10 by 10 and 10 by 20, for the inside. And then we will be marketing this in the Oklahoma City area, DFW area, probably some in Tulsa, but I feel like our Oklahoma City, Dallas, markets are our biggest pools, so that's where we will market. We'll do radio, maybe some billboards. We'll do print in the Texoma area, our region. We'll kind of do some print and radio as well. But we're gonna try to really market this and do this like they would do at those big shows. Ours will be a little bit smaller because we're in a, smaller area, smaller venue, but that's our goal, is to just get it started so that we can hopefully continue it every year and make it larger as we go.
And what are you requesting from us?
Grace and I talked a little bit about it, and my understanding is there's a freeze on some grants and things like that, but there might be some maybe marketing, advertising dollars available. So if maybe that's an option, I don't necessarily have an amount in mind. I'm open to anything because, again, it's our first one, and we're thankful for whatever we can get. If someone's interested in helping us with that, but I would have no problem putting Discover Durant on there as a host or presenting sponsor or anything like that that we would need to do that would kind of fall in line with whatever you all might be able to do that makes sense.
When would you need a decision from us?
I don't necessarily need it today, but I would like to have one soon so that we can kind of move forward. We want to get our marketing underway, and we've just really finalized kind of our website landing page so that it will take vendors and people who want to purchase tickets ahead of time, take them straight to that. So we've just finalized that, and we'll push that out probably Monday. So the sooner the better if you can, but I don't have to have it today.
Okay.
Because we've agreed about a month or two ago that we weren't letting any more grants out right now. We had a man right back here that was with rugby, and we shut him down, and didn't
Yeah, well,
we
so
said that after the
as
first
of right
year.
now, yeah, that
yeah,
would
and this
review
is
it.
the first year.
There's also
I think
Oh,
that
sorry.
we had discussed reviewing it as we go into the latter part of the year. I don't think that we shut it down.
Yeah, we didn't say
But the
no, we
grant,
just said
the
no
grant
for
funding
it.
was utilized.
And you said no until after January.
Yeah.
Because we don't.
Until we figure out,
Yes.
everything else and look at our budget. How much, but if this is advertising, marketing, how much left do we have in that budget for this year?
Do you know that number?
I don't know the number off the top of my head, but we're doing pretty good. She also proposed this to me as having a booth. Like, we can have an informational booth of just all of our resources and things there as well. But on top of that, you can add extra advertising to
Right.
go along with this because the website's not built out yet, is what she's saying.
We
Is this
also
happening at
have money left in the travel
We have everything
shows
that we budgeted for travel shows.
that this would fit under that category as well, because we did not partner with the State Tourism Department simply because they didn't have a direction.
So who's putting this on, the total?
Lake Texoma Association.
Okay. Is this gonna be happening at the Choctaw Event Center?
Correct.
Where's the weigh-in gonna be?
The what?
The weigh-in?
It's not a tournament, it's a boat show and outdoor expo for people who are looking to buy or purchase boats, campers, RVs, side-by-sides, things that they can play on the lake with, or that they need to live, if they live at the lake, things like that that would benefit them at the lake.
How many other sponsors do you have?
We've just really started it. I've got a few, I don't have any main sponsors yet. I've got a few indoor vendors, and then I've started selling my boat space, indoor boat space, which is they're 3,000 plus square feet per group, per business, if you will. So I've started selling some of that. I don't have any other sponsors right now. We've just really pushed it out.
As the Choctaws, they're going to,
So I don't know that they will come in as a sponsor. I was able to negotiate the rate for the venue down quite a bit. So I may list their logo on there somewhere. I may place it on something because I was able to get a significant discount. We're still paying quite a bit
and
to
so
be
they're
out
having
there.
that Choctaw Event Center, so, few of them, or even 50% of them, probably gonna stay at the Choctaw. Okay.
I feel like some of them will if they give us a decent room rate, but I'm gonna list other hotels in the area as options if they don't want to pay that rate. Not everybody wants to stay there.
How much is just your vendor booth space?
The 10 by 10 is 200 and a 10 by 20 is 300. If you all, if Discover Durant decided to come in as some kind of sponsor or something like that, I would throw in, as part of that booth space for you all to promote Durant and have a Discover Durant booth. So,
So how much are your
right
booths
here,
selling
on
for
page 20.
the people that are bringing their boats in?
they are,
It's on page 20.
inside's $1.75 a square foot and outside is $1.35 a square foot. We're actually about half the price of like some of the larger ones like Dallas and some of those, but we wanted it to be reasonable so we could, get people in.
So you think you'll be able to fill all the spaces up, right?
Yes, I really do.
You got quite a few people already coming in, or?
Yeah, and we have not officially pushed this out to the public. We've started with some of our members because we're membership-based, like a chamber, and felt it was important to kind of push it out to some of them first. And I didn't want to push it out all the way before we had our landing page for the website finished, and it's just been completed, so we're going to push all of that Monday.
Sure, I'd like to consider this after January 1st.
Okay.
I do, I don't know about you.
Yeah, we all have business, so I think it's perfectly fine to put it back on. Okay, any other
All right.
questions?
Good presentation.
Thanks. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. All right, let's move into item number 5, review management contract proposals, West Durant Merchants Association. Anybody here wants to come up, and we've got 15 minutes to kind of go through and.
Do they need to know that we're not having a session today?
Yeah, so a couple of changes from the agenda today. So our attorney was not able to make it today. So therefore, we will have to table the executive session until next Friday. So we are going to listen to proposals today, won't make a decision. We'll have we'll have a special session come in next Friday, which I'm hoping we will have our decision made by then, so. Okay, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for the record, I want to read the part of the RFP. It's section 12 under ethics. It says, no elected official or representative of the Dteda who exercises any responsibilities in the review, approval, or implementation of the proposal or contract shall participate in any decisions which affect his or her direct or indirect personal or financial interests. So I have to ask the question, Mr. Chairman, will you and Trustee Reed be voting on this?
No.
Neither one of you? Okay. All right, thank you. With that, thanks for having us today, and I'm going to let Madison to do our proposal.
Well, Mr. Chairman and trustees, thank you for your time and your consideration today. It's with great excitement that the West Durant Merchants Association presents to you a response to manage the Durant Tourism and Economic Development Trust Authority. In this packet, you'll see 3 community letters of support, a proposed budget, resume, and details about what makes our proposal unique. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have at this time.
Any questions, guys?
Yes, so if anyone that's on the board, the Durant Chamber has managed it for the last 3 or 4 years. If any on the board would say, we don't know that y'all would be able to oversee, say, a concert, and you won't be as efficient as Durant Chamber of Commerce, what would you say to that?
I think there's several factors at play that come together with that. First and foremost, I think Discover Durant needs to be a standalone entity, that it would be Discover Durant that puts on that concert series, that it's primarily marketed just as the Discover Durant concert series. I also feel that we have a great volunteer pool, that you pull different clubs and civic organizations together to help make an event like that possible. And you also bring in excellent marketing strategy, excellent PR, things like that. It's just who can do it best and better. And we also have the data with Placer AI technology that will allow us to really see where our tourists come from, where they're staying, what hotels they go to. And so that's a value add as to, in your determining factor as to if you spend $185,000 on a concert series.
So you believe that you can compare with what the Chamber's doing right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know that really we're not looking at a big budget. We're looking at $400,000. That's not really that much. And really what they do is, for the management company, is they make up the agendas for this. They bring the grants in, okay, through our stipulations. And, if we wrote road signs or anything else, or television advertisement through Oklahoma City or Dallas, they arrange for that. And then they also arrange for our website too. So that's the synopsis of what they're doing. But, we're not looking at $1.5 million. Right now, probably between $350,000 and $400,000. So it's not a big, massive job.
No, I understand your point, and like I said, I think Placer Technologies will really help in the determining process if we're awarded the contract on how to make the concert series even better.
So can we go into just some, do you have any ideas of what you would do differently than the Chamber does today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that under specialized issues, when you look at that page, we talk about ordinance compliance. So I have that document here with me. I have the trust indenture and the city ordinance. Specifically, when you're looking at the trust indenture document, we say the trust lists out that to prepare and implement regulatory and administrative measures in support of the activities of the trust, such as bylaws, rules, and regulations, and to establish committees composed of members who may or may not be trustees to make studies, administer programs, render reports, and for any other purpose that the trustees from time to time may determine. We think that there needs to be a real need for committees and committee structure to help move the trust forward. Like I mentioned earlier, Ensure Discover Durant is a standalone entity. One example of that is being an Oklahoma Travel Industry Association member, re-in-line to the intended mission, using the trust indenture as a guiding document, and creating a mission statement. We feel that if you create a mission statement, that will help guide you to what tourism really is, what makes Durant special. Had a meeting this summer with the state Tourism Industry Association. There are things that we can use on Travel OK, such as free posting for events on their website that takes about 24 hours to be approved, and engaging with that state tourism office on a regular basis. Like I mentioned, we have Placer AI and Google Analytics, and established with an established advertising firm for services as needed. We feel like a real need is an existing branding packet that really talks about the basic things for what logo do you use, what color, what's your font scheme, so that way there's consistent branding across. And then specifically for tourism, what would make tourism different? We have a great airport that's just right down the road. Other municipalities such as Ponca City, Tahlequah, Podo, they all use their airports for fly-ins. That is an untapped market with those folks who use planes. So we feel like that would be a great way to promote tourism. And then highlight the recreation facilities and events in Durant, such as disc golf, rodeo, trails, aviation, 5K routes, Lake Durant, the college sports and multi-sports complex. So I think that's pretty well explained in the packet, but if I need to elaborate on anything else, be happy to.
You have an extensive resume here, because your resume goes anywhere from Southeastern to the House of Representatives. So you're very well experienced in working from anybody from Durant all the way to the state.
Yes, sir.
Well, I just like to put in this, really, you know, I'm a businessman, he's a businessman, he's a businessman, and we got a manager that's in the bank, so she well knows this. When you start putting in the bids, usually on a board, you want the best bid. Because what you're doing, you're trying to use maximum money for the tourism going up and down the street. So do you agree on that?
Yes, and to your point about my resume, I think what my resume shows and what our executive team and our board of directors shows is that we understand what public service is. We understand what it's like to be stewards of taxpayer dollars, and how can we do that. And we feel that we're the best to use those public tax dollars to the best extent to really help people understand what there is to discover in Durant.
Mr. Chairman, may I address? How many years experience do you have in the tourism field?
Mr. Chairman, I don't believe it's appropriate for me at this time to answer a question from the current management holder and the opposing bid submitter.
Okay. Let's go into the budget. So can you break down some of the expenses in the budget that you have and kind of what that money's going to be used for?
Yeah, which part specifically?
Let's start with professional services.
Yeah, so professional services would be income to pay the person that's overseeing the contract, and then utilizing a subcontractor for the professional and established advertising firm to create digital ads, the branding book, and things like that.
Okay. Occupancy?
Rent as needed, and utilities and things that go with occupancy.
So only $860 for advertising and marketing?
I think the RFP is very specific on that certain things would be reimbursed by the authority, that this would just be some additional advertising and marketing cost that would be encumbered. But a large portion of the items that you all do is covered in that RFP as reimbursement.
Okay.
Or it's for y'all to be a standalone to pay for that.
Okay.
I think office supplies are pretty self-explanatory. Stamps, things for mail outs.
And then do subscription memberships, or just outside?
Outside, you need everything from Canva subscriptions, MailChimp, that kind of thing. Jot forms.
Okay.
Where is your current office?
For us, or where would we be housed as Discover Durant?
What are you talking about using for Discover Durant?
We have an agreement with the city of Durant to utilize an office space here
City Hall?
Yes.
Any other questions? So, would you, looking at the fall concert series, is that something that you guys would continue to have? Are you looking at other events, or what are some other
First, I think that comes down to a conversation as to what you all envision the management contract to be. You are a working board. You are the ones that make the decision about continuing forward with that. And so if that's the way the trust authority wants to go forward, we'd be happy to make that happen. I think, are you asking about ways we can make it better or just do different?
Yeah, just other ideas. So I think as a board, although we approve the expenditures, we still are looking for someone that's going to, give us the ideas of how to bring in tourism.
Well, and I appreciate that comment, but in one of the past meetings, Trustee Scher made the recommendation, and I think it was a great idea. How do you partner with different events that are already happening in town? I think if it was me, the Josh Abbott Band concert would have been an excellent segue into Oktoberfest, because it's more of that same crowd of people that would enjoy that. So what are different events that are happening that we could bring them in that same time frame? So if you have a late night concert, then you are hoping that people will spend the night overnight. The Braxton Keith concert was a great turnout. But why can't we have that on the weekend of the college rodeo where there's that demographic that's here to enjoy that type concert and spend some more money in town? So I think that's a segue into utilizing established events, and the concert series is how can you partner to make them better?
Okay.
On the concerts, I think it's good. Me personally, and we'll find out later on, I think we'll just put it down to 2 concerts and have the biggest names we have and consolidate. I talked to Danny probably about a month or 2 ago. He came up with a good idea to where, I drove past a couple of them and they're packed out and people are just walking off. But he even suggested the sports arena out there, which would give us a lot more. So that's just we don't need to talk about that now.
Right.
But I'm just telling you, that's what we're looking at too.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Thank you for submitting that.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say in closing, we appreciate you. We appreciate your acts of public service to this community, of giving of your time, and we appreciate your consideration of our proposal.
Thank you.
All right, next, let's move into the Durant Area Chamber of Commerce.
Right, thank you. I'm Rob Piercy. I'm president of the board at the Chamber. Submitted our proposal after review of when we started as the management company in 2017, or even 2 years prior to that, when we helped kind of develop the entire program of managing the activities and functions funded by the trust. We've determined that the best value for that money was to use a local entity that had been doing travel shows and promoting businesses in the area since 1910. We are proven that we can check every metric that you guys have asked for, from number of hits and clicks on websites to ideas for other events to so we feel like that what we have in the packet is just kind of what we've always done. We're one that we have everything in-house. We don't outsource to different things. If you need photography or graphics, we do that. We do it for not only our membership base, but can do it have done it for the trust as well. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, I've got, my first one is that, I'll have to get it and see. Just hold on a minute.
No worries.
But if the chamber has the highest bid, why do you think that we would go for the chamber? You've heard their expertise. Why would we go for a higher bid? and this switches around. If they have the highest bid, why would we go with theirs instead of the chamber?
Right, right. I understand that you're,
We're business.
interested in that. However, the trust collects money not to collect money and sit on it. I mean, it's meant to reinvest in events that bring tourism in. To field an office with a live body that answers the phone and monitors the internet emails, it takes money. It takes people there. So when looking at our actual expenditures over the last 4 or 5 years, we've probably spent more of that than $150,000 to support this entity because it's part of our community. It's what we do to support each other in the business community. But when we made this budget for this proposal, this was just what we felt like would be fair, what we've been able to perform to in the past, without raising costs for everything else that's gone up in the environment today. But we just feel like we've been alongside you this whole time and feel like we've done a great job.
Yeah, I know your bid, the chamber's bid was a certain amount around COVID. But right after COVID, when they come up with the bid, it was double the amount. So why would the cost of the management contract go from one price to double the next year? How can you figure out that cost?
I'm unaware of that. I wasn't part of that decision making. But I know that looking for this proposal, looking back over the last 3 to 4 years of what was spent, what all we've done, and there's some examples of marketing and billboards and designs and list of events in your packet that feel that we've anytime that the trust board has had an idea of an event or a task for us to do, we feel like we've met your mark. We've provided the metrics to prove that measure, and have been right along beside you the whole time.
Any other questions?
That ain't Danny?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
As part of the RFP guidelines, did I miss the letters of recommendation in this packet that are supposed to be attached?
Should have been attached, I believe.
That was one of the qualifications for the bid.
Did they just not get in there?
I don't see it in this printed version.
Section 9, item B.
What does the RFP say?
RFP says Section 9 criteria for selection. Selection will be based on many contributing factors. The management team or individual may use full-time and staff and subcontractors as needed. Requirements for submission include A, example of similar projects overseen, B, references from community members and other organizations with a maximum of 3, C, scope of work, D, an itemized project budget, E, a plan for new tourism events and increased revenue streams, and F, requirements listed in section 6 above must also be met.
So could that disqualify the bid?
Can we just
Probably
add it in?
Conversation in our executive session next week.
Okay. Can we just slide them in there?
What's that?
Can we just slide them in there at the executive session? Do we add that? How do we
I
handle
wouldn't
that
say
piece?
yes or no. I would
Okay.
say we have to go through Jason
Okay.
and ask. Okay, what other questions?
Okay, now, we went through, their, request proposal and their bid. Can you go down through your bid and tell us what yours was? Yours was, around $90,000, working compensation was $500. Can you explain all that to us?
Yeah, I mean, at the bottom of the page, the staffing expenditures are detailed there of what that expenditure goes for. Of course, line item by line item, work comp is of course, as stated. Travel and mileage for the various travel shows, rent of the office space, telephones, internet, social media production. Again, we don't outsource that, we do that in-house, so that's a definite bargain versus going out somewhere. Collateral material.
I know you're doing it, now I ask you to, I just want the 3 things out of this, and I'd like to know, the mileage and travel on the $10,000, what's that?
That's any reimbursable to go to travel shows, to go to various meetings and marketing travel.
Social media, what is that?
All of the social media campaigns, the promotions for all the concert series, but even yesterday we put out another one for all the Christmas events. So that's a constant contact.
Yeah, and I've been on quite a few boards before. It's called a profit and loss statement. On the collateral material, when I see something like that, it's not itemized.
Yeah.
I've been on a few boards and they don't explain it. And
Yeah.
even on the church board, I'll ask them.
Probably one of the largest on the collateral information is we do the accounting for the trust as well. So we have a QuickBooks monthly subscription. We have Canva, all those other creation and dues paid type programs that we use for promotional purposes.
Which the city of Durant used to do when we were underneath their umbrella.
Right. So I think that's a good point, is that budgeting and accounting side of things, to have
You probably know, on the in-house meeting, what is that?
Just when we have to circle the wagons and get production stuff taken care of, bringing in supplies as needed.
That was a good statement. What it is it was an Indian circling the wagon.
Well, sometimes it takes all of us to circle the wagons,
good.
Jim.
Any other?
We thank you for
All
coming
right.
out.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, guys.
All right, as I mentioned previously, we are going to now table that until a special session next Friday. Did you figure out what time that special session is going to be at next Friday?
I think they had to check to see if the city council chambers were going to be available.
All right, so we'll just get the agenda posted. All right, let's go down to number 7, informational items, Discover Grant Activity Report.
Guys, we have been in full swing with Christmas events. If you look on page 24 and 25, you'll see a rack card that we put out. Kind of mimics the billboard full color. It looks fabulous. These have all the events that have been stationary in our community or new ones coming up. As always, we update all of that on our website. And I encourage you to go to our Facebook page. We've got a lot of good material going out on the things happening in town for Christmas. So it's going to be a really busy holiday season.
Do we have any events planned for after January yet?
No, sir.
Okay, any questions? None?
Your Choctaw Nation report is on the last page, page 26. That comes from Joe McDaniel.
Okay. That's some good guys for now. All right, thank you. All right, let's move into old business, 23-24 audit. Any update there?
Okay, so yes, we have an update there. So Ross from Gray and Blodgett, when he got further into our indenture and our information for the Tourism Authority, he has passed us over to a different CPA and auditor firm. I sent him our indenture and grievance yesterday for him to review so that he can further give us a price, a yes or no, definitely that he can do our audit, and he's going to look at that right after the Thanksgiving holiday.
Have you discussed this with Dan Chin to make sure it's in coordination with
That's my
what
next.
she is needing?
That's the next spot that I've got right now. As soon as I leave here, I'll talk to her.
Well, it's critical to get this right, and people have to understand that you just can't go to a CPA in Oklahoma and get an audit. It has to be a CPA that has that in their resume. So you just can't pick up somebody and do that.
If they come back and say no, do we have another option yet that we're
We'll
looking
find
at?
one.
No, that was the second one, but we'll find one. And that was Mike Green CPA firm out of, they're in northwestern Oklahoma City up by Stillwater.
Okay.
And they do a lot of municipalities, throughout the state.
And we're not gonna be quick and fast or expedient. We're gonna take our time and get the right one.
Sure. Remind me again when this has to be done by?
That, I need to go speak with Ann Chen.
We had received a memo earlier, or I'm sorry, we had received an email earlier from Ann stating that we needed it by November the 30th. So we need to get clarification on
On
that
that.
from her.
Yeah,
We're trying.
Yep.
We're
Okay.
both trying.
Is there, what happens if it's not done by?
So I asked him that yesterday. He said, that there really shouldn't be any issue because our information is slid into, now that we're a separate auditor, now that we have a separate audit, our information should be slid into the city of Durant's as a placeholder. However, I will verify that with Ann Chen after we leave here today.
Okay. Any questions? Any further discussion? All right, any new business? Oh, actually, let's go back to the old business one more time.
Is there,
I think you guys have probably seen Light Up Durant, with the lights going up on Main Street.
I was getting ready to ask you, what's the status on that?
They, based on the report I got this morning, is they should be done today or tomorrow, and they will have fully lighted from Fourth down to First on both sides of Main Street with permanent lighting, permanent LED lighting.
Did you get the LED lighting from the company that you were suggesting?
There was we had multiple bids.
But they got the one from where you suggested?
No, we ended up going with cheaper.
And the city of Durant's putting the lights up,
No, we have a third party putting the lights up.
and so they're insured. Good.
We're all good.
There's a 7-year warranty on it.
Okay, so I thought that was great to see. I mean, that company's moving really quickly. Should be done today, tomorrow. We could have some lights and go into the, before the holiday season. So I thought that was really great.
That's much faster than most government type operations.
Took some
And we were
conversations.
fortunate that we have been able to raise nearly $50,000 for the Light Up Durant.
So that will be sufficient, 150.
Yeah, the total cost was $72,000, and that was raised. The grant was approved as of what I saw this morning, based on the communication I saw.
And the lights were how much?
Everything total was $72,000, so
We're not putting them up.
that included it. Yes,
Right, so we've got a grant for how much?
there was a grant that would total up to $150,000 with match.
Okay.
And so that's excess, 75,000.
But yeah, but that's not us.
That's
not
Main
us,
Street.
Main Street.
That's
Well,
not
that's a Main
us,
Street
that's
grant.
Main
I'm just
Street.
making a statement.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's still some other opportunities there for additional grant money if the projects are there.
Are we looking at expanding the lighting?
There is a second lighting project. I think, nothing that we as a board has discussed yet, anything further. I think what we've agreed to has happened, and
You
we'll
think
see-
with the
we'll see what
access they
happens.
have, that they'll go to some of the shopping centers that we have, Bobby Story and Trent?
That's not, I don't know,
It'd be a it'd be nice.
but I'm not stuck.
I know, we're not on the board.
One of the things that I do think that we need to keep in consideration as we go into this project, we do have to look back at the strategic plan, because we are we don't have the grant money that we had. We've already expended all the grant funding. So we need to go back and actually look and see how we're going to operate with the funding and where it's going to go after that.
And I think the first decision we have to make is this management company, and then really going back and looking at our budget for the second half of the fiscal year and determining how's the best way that we can use those funds. So, okay.
Just a question. should we still be accepting the grants as they come in? Because if not, we need to take it off of our website.
If they come in next month, we're not doing anything for them anyhow, so.
I don't think we should accept them any longer. We've stated as a board on multiple occasions that we will no longer be funding any grant projects. We have already exceeded our grant money for the year, and we are in the negative. I don't think we should accept another grant. They can put it off till next fiscal year.
I don't know.
Or if we decide that we do want to spend some of these funds on grants, then we will then put the grant
After the first
application back
year.
on. Timing is relative whenever
Sure.
whenever we're ready to start accepting them in. So we can take them down when we're ready to start accepting applications again, then we'll put it back up.
Sure.
And that, whatever timing that is.
Sure, we just can't keep on going $150,000 negative to home.
Then we're gonna need a formal vote on that.
Okay,
So we'll need to add that to the agenda.
okay. We'll do that on the next one. Okay.
Make a motion.
I mean, do we feel that, no, we can't do it on this one, but do we feel strongly either way on?
We've had several calls, and there's going to be a lot of people that are disappointed, and and it's some of those rodeos that Jim so mentioned earlier that definitely have requested it, so.
But it's still be in the time limit that we have.
I just
Next
don't
year.
I just don't understand how we can publicly state we're not gonna give any more grant funds, be in the negative on our grant funds already, and then continue to take applications. I know that's
Okay, I'm not understanding what you
So-
said.
our budget, well, we're already in the negative. We've
You
already
said
out of our grant funding, we have stated here publicly on multiple occasions that we are not gonna do any more grant funding for this fiscal year.
Right.
It doesn't matter what we've stated, we have to vote on that
Okay.
to make it an
Okay.
action.
It's fine.
I don't know that, and just for my clarification, I don't know that we actually said for the rest of the fiscal year until, I think we decided until we as a board really have an agreement on how we're going to use this money.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. We need to take action on it if we're not going to do any more funding
Okay.
for the year, so.
I know me and you talked about it a month ago, and
I just
we
hate
both
'em
said it
to
was
bring
best
it
if
and then
we
we
just
table it
did not have any
every
more
time.
grants.
But we have to
Until
accept
we
them
decide.
according to what
So
we've
we
got.
decide what we're going
Yeah.
to use this money on, so I think we're all on the same page here.
Yes.
So now the question is, do we just take the application off until we're ready to start accepting them again,
Yeah.
or do we leave it?
I think we have to
have
vote
a
on it
vote.
first.
So it has to
So
be
it
on
will be on the
the next
agenda.
agenda.
Okay,
Now it's time.
all right. Any new business? Nothing?
I'll make a motion.
All right, we got one motion. Got a second?
Second,
All right, let's get a vote.
Okay, trustee Reed,
yes.
trustee Sheriff,
Yes.
trustee Thorpe,
Yes, from both of us.
chairman Hunt,
Yes.
and I am yes as well.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you coming out.